Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or maybe you spent a few minutes looking for your glasses, only to find them sitting right on your head? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get older, little lapses like that could become more common. And let's be honest, sometimes they can be pretty frustrating. But here's the good news. Memory decline is not something you just have to accept. In fact, there are simple, powerful ways to keep your mind sharp and focus well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. You don't need to become a genius or start solving crossword puzzles every day, unless you enjoy those, of course. What really matters are the small, consistent habits that support your brain health over time. In today's video, we're going to talk about 6 practical ways you can protect and even improve your memory after 60. These tips are easy to follow, based on real science, and best of all, they fit right into your daily life. Whether you're worried about memory loss or just want to stay sharp and independent as you age, you're in the right place. So, let's begin with something incredibly important. Something that affects your memory more than you might think. How much you move your body. You see, physical activity isn't just about keeping your heart healthy or maintaining muscle strength. It actually has a direct impact on your brain. When you move, whether walking around a block, dancing in your living room, or doing some gentle stretching, you're increasing blood flow to your brain. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, and better function for the areas responsible for memory and thinking. Now, I'm not talking about training for a marathon. If you enjoy gardening, that counts. If you take a short walk every morning or do a few light exercises while watching TV, you're already doing something wonderful for your brain. Even 20 to 30 minutes of gentle movement most days can make a noticeable difference in how clearly you think and how well you remember things. And the best part? It can also help with mood, sleep, and energy. A short walk in the fresh air might clear your mind more than a cup of coffee ever could. So the next time you're feeling foggy or forgetful, try getting up and moving a bit. You might be surprised by how refreshed you feel. Now, while we're on the subject of energy and focus, let's talk about something else that often gets overlooked: sleep. It might seem like a no-brainer, but many people don't realize just how closely sleep and memory are connected. During sleep, especially deep sleep, your brain is busy processing and organizing information. It's almost like your mind is doing housekeeping, filing away important memories and clearing out the clutter. If you're not getting enough restful sleep, those memory files can get lost in the shuffle. So, how do you make sure your sleep is truly restorative? Start by creating a calm, relaxing bedtime routine. That could be something as simple as turning off bright screens an hour before bed, sipping a cup of herbal tea, or listening to soft music. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends, so your body gets into a natural rhythm. Also, don't be afraid to make your bedroom a sleep-friendly zone. Keep it cool, quiet, and dark. If you need background noise, a fan or soft white noise can help. And if racing thoughts are keeping you up, try writing them down in a notebook before bed. It's like telling your brain, don't worry, we'll deal with that tomorrow. Better sleep doesn't just help with memory. It also gives you more energy, lifts your mood, and strengthens your immune system. In other words, it's a gift you give yourself every single night. Now, let's talk about one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for protecting your memory: staying socially connected. Think about the last time you had a really good conversation. Maybe it was with an old friend, a neighbor, or even a grandchild. Do you remember how you felt afterward? Probably more awake, more alive, and more engaged. That's because social interaction actually exercises your brain. Every time you listen, respond, or share a story, your brain is working to keep up, and that's a good thing. Studies have shown that people who stay socially active are less likely to experience memory loss. It's not just about avoiding loneliness. It's about giving your mind the kind of stimulation it thrives on. So whether it's chatting on the phone, joining a community group, or even talking to someone while waiting in line, those moments of connection add up. And if you live alone or don't get out much, don't worry. There are still plenty of ways to stay connected. You could join a virtual book club, write letters to old friends, or even take part in online forums or classes that match your interests. The key is to make conversation a regular part of your life, not just a special occasion. And remember, it's not about having dozens of friends. It's about having meaningful connections, even if it's just with a few people who brighten your day. Now that we've touched on movement, sleep, and connection, 3 things that are so simple yet so powerful. Let's keep going. Because keeping your memory sharp isn't just about avoiding decline. It's about living fully, staying curious, engaged, and active in your own way. You've got wisdom, stories, and experience. And your memory is part of what helps you carry all that forward, to share with others, and keep growing no matter your age. Let's keep the momentum going and explore more ways to give your brain the support it deserves. Because your brain is like a garden. It thrives when you give it the right care. And one of the best ways to keep it blooming is through what you put on your plate every day. Let's talk about food for a moment. Not just any food, but brain-loving foods that nourish your memory. You probably heard the phrase, "You are what you eat." And when it comes to memory, that couldn't be more true. The brain is a hungry organ. It uses up a big portion of the energy you get from food. So if you're feeding your body junk, your brain's gonna feel like junk too. Now, this doesn't mean you have to overhaul your entire diet overnight, but adding in a few smart choices can go a long way. For example, foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds are like super fuel for your brain. They help reduce inflammation, improve communication between brain cells, and even support the growth of new ones. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, they're full of antioxidants and vitamin K, which helps slow cognitive decline. Berries, especially blueberries, are another favorite. Think of them as tiny brain protectors. They're packed with compounds that improve communication between brain cells and enhance memory. And don't forget about hydration. Dehydration can make you feel foggy, tired, and forgetful. Something as simple as sipping water throughout the day can actually help you stay clear-headed and more focused. Herbal teas, soups, and even fruits like oranges and watermelon count too. The point is to keep your brain well-fueled and well-watered, just like a healthy garden. And speaking of feeding your brain, let's talk about something else it absolutely loves: learning. You don't have to go back to school or read thick textbooks to keep your memory sharp. Your brain loves new challenges, especially the kind that stretch your thinking just enough to make you focus. That could be learning a new recipe, picking up a few words in another language, or trying a new hobby like painting or playing an instrument. Even something as simple as using your non-dominant hand for a task, like brushing your teeth or stirring your coffee, can activate new parts of the brain. Every time you do something unfamiliar, your brain starts making new connections. It's kind of like giving your mind a workout. And just like muscles, the more you use your brain, the stronger it becomes. So don't worry if you're not great at something right away. The goal isn't perfection, it's stimulation. If you enjoy puzzles, that's wonderful. If you prefer hands-on projects like woodworking, gardening, or sewing, those count too. The key is to do something that gets you thinking in new ways. Something that requires your attention and a little bit of effort. Over time, these kinds of mental workouts can help improve memory, focus, and even delay signs of cognitive aging. And here's something else you might not expect, but it's just as important for keeping your memory strong: reducing stress. You know that feeling when you've got too much on your mind and you can't think straight? That's not just in your head. Chronic stress floods your brain with chemicals like cortisol that, over time, can actually damage the areas responsible for memory. It's like trying to read a book while someone's shouting in your ear. No wonder it's hard to concentrate. So what can you do? Well, the answer isn't to avoid stress altogether. That's not really possible. But you can learn to manage it in healthier ways. And that starts with slowing down. Try starting your morning with just a few minutes of quiet. Sit by a window, breathe deeply, and just be. Or take a gentle walk without your phone, just listening to the birds or the sound of your footsteps. These small, quiet moments help calm your nervous system and clear away some of that mental clutter. Other people find relief through journaling, meditation, prayer, or even talking to a friend. Whatever helps you unwind, that's your medicine. Even laughter, believe it or not, is great for the brain. It lowers stress hormones and increases feel-good chemicals that boost memory and mood. So don't hold back those chuckles. Watch a funny show, share a joke, or spend time with someone who always makes you smile. The truth is, peace of mind is just as important for memory as any pill or supplement. Your brain performs best when it feels safe, supported, and relaxed. So give yourself permission to rest, to take breaks, to do things that bring you joy. Not because it's a luxury, but because it's essential. Now, when you combine these habits, eating well, learning new things, and managing stress, you're not just supporting your memory. You're creating a life that feels rich, balanced, and full of purpose. A life that's not just about remembering, but living well. There's a lot we can't control as we age, but there's also so much we can. Every little choice you make, what you eat, how you move, who you talk to, how you wind down, adds up, and even if you've had years of not-so-great habits, it's never too late to start again. The brain has an incredible ability to change, to adapt, and to grow. No matter how many birthdays you've celebrated, you've already taken the first step just by being here, listening and learning. And that means you're ahead of the game. Let's keep that momentum going and keep giving your mind the care it deserves. Because your mind truly does deserve that care. It's carried your memories, your stories, your lessons, and your laughter through the decades. And it still has so much more to give. Now, we've already talked about movement, rest, nutrition, staying social, learning new things, and managing stress, all of which create a strong foundation for a sharp memory. But there's one more element that quietly ties them all together, and that's purpose. You see, having a reason to get up in the morning, something that lights a spark in you, does wonders for your brain. Purpose gives you energy. It gives you focus. It keeps your mind engaged in ways that no crossword puzzle ever could. That purpose doesn't have to be something grand or world-changing. It could be tending to your garden, caring for a pet, volunteering at your local church, or simply being present for your grandchildren. It could be finishing that book you've always wanted to write, or teaching someone a skill you've spent your whole life mastering. When your days are filled with intention, your mind stays alert. It knows it's needed. It has something to look forward to. And that right there is one of the most powerful memory boosters of all. Purpose also helps you stay mentally active without even realizing it. You might be planning meals, organizing events, writing notes, solving little problems. All of those things keep your brain nimble. The best part is, you don't have to push yourself. Purpose isn't about pressure. It's about meaning. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't really have a purpose these days, don't worry. It's never too late to find one. Sometimes purpose starts small. Maybe it's calling an old friend once a week, or cooking a new dish and sharing it with a neighbor, or even just learning how to use your phone a little better so you can FaceTime with family more often. Start wherever you are. Purpose doesn't come with rules. It just asks you to show up with your heart open and your mind curious. Now, before we finish, let's take a breath together. Just pause for a moment and think about everything you've done in your life. The wisdom you've gathered, the storms you've weathered, the love you've shared. Your memory is a thread that weaves all of that together. And even as time goes on, even if you forget where you put your keys every now and then, you are still in there, whole, capable, and vibrant. These small changes we've talked about, they're not just about holding on to memories. They're about staying connected to life, to joy, to possibility. So whether you're starting with one habit or all 6, the key is to begin. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything at once. Just take one step today. Maybe it's going for a walk, calling a friend, trying new food, or setting a regular bedtime. Whatever you choose, do it with kindness toward yourself. Your brain isn't just a machine. It's a living, breathing part of you that responds to love, attention, and care. And you're not in this alone. So many others are walking the same path, figuring it out one day at a time. In fact, I'd love to hear from you. What helps you stay sharp? Have you discovered a favorite brain-boosting habit? Share it in the comments below. I read every single one, and you never know who your story might inspire. And if this video gave you something to think about, something to try, or even just a moment of encouragement, go ahead and give it a like. It helps more than you know. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more simple, helpful tips on living your best life after 60. Because yes, you can thrive at any age. You can keep growing, keep laughing, keep discovering new parts of yourself. Your memory is a gift. And when you take care of it, you're really taking care of you. So here's to staying sharp, staying curious, and staying wonderfully you. We'll talk again soon. Until then, take good care and keep shining.